Hi, and welcome to the Screen Safe podcast. I'm Anna, and this is a podcast for anyone who cares about keeping children and teens safer online. We're going to talk about absolutely everything, so whatever age and stage your child is at, there'll be something here for you. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome back. This week's episode is a shorter one, but a really important one, because today I'm going to be talking about what I think is potentially the most disturbing and dangerous site out there at the moment that we know children are accessing. There's so much to talk about in relation to the better known platforms and sites that our children are on, such as Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest. So much. And I'm just actually finishing up pulling together a whole course on the social media side by itself, because it is such a big and crucial area for parents to get their heads around. And again, a tricky one that just keeps moving. No sooner have you got on top of one, then another one comes in, and that one seems to favor where the children are going. So I'm pulling that together for you. But today I'm focusing just on one, which is known as Omegle. And there's a high chance you've never even heard of this site. Many parents I speak to haven't, but it has actually been around since 2009. And I'm going to spell that out to you, not to be patronizing, but because I want you to be able to look at this for yourself and understand what it looks like, what the logo is, so you can recognize it. And if you see it on any of your child's devices or search history, you know that you need to be acting. So it is called Omegle, which is Omegle. And we know that kids are always looking at new apps and learning about the latest online trends, either from their friends or social media. So what's different about this one? What is Omegle and why is it so bad? Is it really that bad? Well, absolutely, it is. Now, Omegle isn't actually even an app. It's a very simple website where people go to meet face to face with strangers via video chat. Now, there's probably enough just in that sentence alone to trigger most parents' danger flags. And you'd be right to be worried with this one. One of the main concerns I have with children being on social media too young is their ability to talk to strangers. And Omegle's slogan is just that: talk to strangers. So, what are we actually dealing with here? So, Omegle is an anonymous video chatting platform, and it pairs you with a complete stranger who could be based anywhere in the world. Now, some of the upfront warnings with Omegle state that you have to be 18 or older. Their video chats are moderated, but no moderation is perfect, and users are solely responsible for their behavior whilst using Omegle. So you can pick from 7 different ways that you want to video chat according to the increasingly explicit levels of inappropriate content that they're willing to encounter. So you can select an option and then you're taken directly to another screen that will feature videos, live videos of you and a stranger. So there are 3 ways that you can video chat on it, and you have a section which is titled Adult. And if you click on that, you will be taken to Cameagle, which is, they refer to it as a third party site where Omegle are able to wash their hands of any liability for any of its content. Now, before you can create an account, there is a warning that says this site contains sexually explicit material and you have to click a button to confirm you're 18. So you pretty much know you're guaranteed there that you're going to have nudity, porn, explicit or violent sexual contact. And you can even be exposed to users having, performing live sexual acts. And again, if we think of children accessing these, particularly older children, it's that shock factor, it's that intrigue. It's as we know, it's normal to be curious about things. But what we don't want is that curiosity taking them somewhere that is so out of their depths and potentially dangerous, and they could be left really, really traumatized by visiting this site. Now, there is another section there that's titled Unmoderated, and some children who go onto these sites won't even know what these words mean. And bear in mind, all they're having to do is tick this box to say they're 18. That is it. That's as far as the safety process goes. So we all know, again, that children aren't going to have a problem lying about their age if they want to access something they think that they shouldn't be, or it's a bit dangerous or risky. And yes, there's another pop-up and it says that, it's an 18 plus policy. Um, but the unmoderated section means that you are likely to be exposed to sexual content and various other inappropriate behaviors. And then the final way that it happens is by video, and this option isn't labeled as moderated. And it's not intuitive that it's the least dangerous way to use the platform. And it's important to know that whilst it's supposedly moderated, inappropriate things can, and I'm sure do, still happen whilst chatting. So we know that children have been known to go on Omegle in groups, whether they're at a sleepover or just round at a friend's house, and it's that bit of excitement. We've heard about this. Let's go on and have a laugh. Let's go on together, or egging each other on. It's got that shock factor. But Omegle is not just innocent fun. And it presents a whole host of dangers that could affect children in serious ways. So, as I do with most things when I'm researching them, look into them, I feel the best way for me to find out how they work is to actually use it myself. And in looking into Omegle, I actually created and had a look myself and went on to Omegle. And you are matched with strangers doing all sorts of various things. I was exposed to someone displaying pornography with extremely graphic images of naked women. And all I'd done is tick a box to say I was over 18. So that's exactly what your children could be seeing. They could also be exposed to real life nudity. Remember, these can be live videos and sexual acts that are happening. They may well then be approached themselves and asked to get involved in some way, whether that's getting undressed or engaging in a sexual activity in return. So it is a prime site, of course, for grooming to be occurring, because people of all ages can be paired up. And they actually stated on their homepage, although I think they've taken it down now, actually, but it actually was stated predators have been known to use Omegle. I mean, wow. it you can't really say that they're not being honest about what's going on there. So, I mean, it doesn't become any more obvious than that of how dangerous this site is for children to be on, even if they think it's just a bit of fun and they're having a laugh. So these predators obviously can very quickly become, start the grooming process with children on these platforms, having conversations through text or email, and then that opens the door to a whole host of further potential abuse or sextortion or plans of how to even arrange to meet them up in real life. So there really are no rules when you get onto this site, and there is also no accountability. And if you don't like a connection that you've been paired up with, all you have to do is select next, and you take it on to the next random person in the world. So, and I can guarantee that the people on Omegle are exactly the kind of people you do not want your child anywhere near, let alone talking to and physically seeing face to face over a video call. There's been all sorts of other reports from other people who've used Omegle and reported on this. People in the same space of me who have gone into it and looked at it in terms of how it's impacting children. There are groups, there have been groups of young girls, say 11 to 14 age roughly, who are on there together. There's people masturbating, having sex, naked, and more extreme sex scenes as you go through to the different levels and the language and the violence. It's all there. So it really is full of some of the worst people in terms of who you'd want your child meeting online. So I really wanted to flag this up to you. So you've got the name, you've got that awareness, you've got the spelling. It is one of those sites that you need to be blocking on all of your platforms and make sure that there's no way that your child can get on there. And to do that, you need to be going, into your parental controls and into your screen time, toggle Omegle to blocked, and also make sure that whilst you're doing that, that sexual content is also toggled off in your screen time rules. and repeat that for any other screen time rules you set on any devices. So into your settings, parental controls, scroll down to that screen time rule set, and then make sure you're adding in Omegle as a site to be blocked. So it's a very risky website. It puts kids in a lot of danger of encountering sexual content or potentially grooming predators. And I would recommend that you have a chat with your child. If they are of the older sort of tween age at high school, chances are they've already heard about this or maybe even seen it, been shown it. They could be worried about it. They could be worried about something that they've seen on there or something that's happened. So I'd highly recommend having a chat and getting all that out in the open. There is plenty more to discuss on the other platforms, as I say, but this is a really key one that I'm probably going to sound like a bit of a broken record with, because I just want to shout it everywhere and keep going. So every parent has this site on their radar. It really is absolutely vile. And it is somewhere you do not want your child anywhere near. So please share this episode with as many parents as you can. Spread the word. If you see it on my Instagram or anything, please share that site. The more parents that know, the more we can get this blocked. The less chance then that you've got your child either finding it themselves on their own device or going around when they're with friends and it being accessible on their device. So I really want this name, Omegle, to stick in every parent's mind, because you do not want your child anywhere near it. So I'll be back next week. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the new AI bot that's come onto Snapchat in recent months and how that's sort of blindsided a lot of parents. So we'll have a chat about that one next week. But in the meantime, take care. Any questions, do drop me a message, and please keep talking. Bye for now. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be really grateful if you would share it with anyone else who you think might find this podcast helpful. You can follow me on Instagram at ScreenSafeGlobal, or sign up via my website screensafe.co.uk, or via the link in Instagram to receive my weekly newsletter with more hints, tips and all-round support on everything to do with online safety.